and welcome to part 2 of how to adopt a dog. So in this series, we're talking about how you can adopt a dog. We're going to go through all the steps. We're going to talk about everything. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, it's really going to set up this video. So make sure that you go back and do that. I have a link in the description section below so that you can find that. And in this video, we are going to talk about how to actually pick out a dog. So when you go and visit them, how to pick out the right one for you. So before we get started into the video, I want to introduce little Easy. So this is, I'm dog sitting for him. He's one of Django's best friends. And he's a rescue dog. He's from Mexico. He's from the streets. He's probably part Chihuahua and part a million different things, but he's the sweetest little dog, and he's going to join me on this video to help explain everything to you. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure that you do that and like this video if you're into it, if you think that it's helpful. And so let's get into the fun part, shall we? First thing that you need to do when looking at dogs is bring your list, which I talk about in part 1. So make sure that you bring that list so that you can show the staff and they can help you to cross off as many things from your wish list as possible. The second thing that you absolutely need to remember is do not adopt the first dog that you see. So you're gonna walk in there and you're gonna be so excited and the dogs are gonna be so cute, but it's really important that you look at all the dogs, that you don't just fall in love with the first one that you see. The tendency that we have is to look at a dog based on physical appearance and just kind of ignore all of the things that we put on our list that are deal breakers. So it's really important that you don't adopt the first dog. It may be in the end that you do end up adopting that dog, but make sure that you look at all of them. You look at all your options, you visit with everyone. If you still go back to that first dog, great, that's fabulous. But you need to make sure that you're not just putting your heart on the very, very first one that you see and ignoring all of the bad things about it. The third thing that you need to remember is to talk to the staff and ask as many questions as possible. Trust me, you are not being rude. They want you to ask these questions. So at this point, the staff know more than anyone what these dogs' personalities are like because they're with them every day. They walk them, they feed them, they do everything with them. So they're gonna know better than anyone what the personality is of this dog and how well they're gonna fit with you. You can ask them straight up questions. They will not be offended whatsoever. I will put in the description section below, and I will put some of the questions that you should be asking them. I'll also put it on my website, www.inroughcompany.com. I'll write up a blog about that. There's a lot of them. Anything that you can possibly think of, ask them that question. It's a good idea even to write down these questions before you go in so that you're prepared to ask them. Make sure that you're visiting this dog multiple times and at different times of the day. So dogs, just like humans, have a full day. They have different things going on in their day, especially these dogs. There's all these different aspects of the day, and if you just visit the dog one time, you may be catching them at a time where they're not at their fullest, where they're not showing their true personality. So you want to try to go as many times as possible, meet them in as many situations as you can. So go and take them for a walk, see how they are in their room, how they are with other dogs, if that's a possibility. You want to see them in as many different situations as you can, just so you can know as much about the dog as possible. It's also really important for you to bring your family members along to meet this dog. So that includes children, your parents, anyone who's going to be around this dog a lot, including if you have another dog in the house, if the rescue allows you to bring that dog. It's really important because you do want to make sure that everyone's going to get along just fine, that everyone likes each other before you bring it home. When you're actually visiting with the dogs, you want to make sure that you see them in as many different lights as you can. So if there's a toy around, if they allow you to do that, you can play with them, see how they play. Are they tugging? Are they nipping at you when they're doing that? Take them for a walk if you can. Just see them in as many different situations as you possibly can so you can get a better idea of how they are on the whole as opposed to just in the situation where someone's coming to visit. You want to see how they are on the day-to-day, how they interact with humans, how they interact with other dogs. You want to get them in as many situations as you can, and a lot of rescues will be very, very happy to help you in analyzing that. It's also really important to remember that life in a shelter is a really strange environment for them, especially if they haven't been there for a long period of time. So they may not necessarily show their true personality. They may be a different dog in the shelter than when you bring them home. So the choosing of a dog can be the most time-consuming and the most stressful part of the whole entire process. So make sure that you give yourself enough time, that you don't just adopt the first dog that you see because it's easier, but that you really consider what it is that you and your family need. And in part 3, we are going to talk about where you actually find these dogs, because there are multiple places. There are some that are better than others. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. I'm going to fill you in on all of those details, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in part 3 of How to Adopt a Dog.